Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports on Spreaker. You can also find this and all other episodes of Taylor's Detroit Sports on iHeartRadio. Straight and full Detroit and Michigan sports coverage 100% of the time. If you have any opinions on everything that's going on in the Detroit sports world, call in or send a text message live on the show at 231-429-3668. Also, you can add me on Facebook as Taylor Phillips, online at facebook.com/TaylorGatorPhillips14. Like my Facebook page, Taylor Phillips's Detroit Sports page. Join my Facebook group, Taylor Phillips's Detroit Sports Group. And follow me on Twitter at DT2Phillips with 2 L's.
Episode 123 on hand. The Orlando Magic got out to a 5-0 start and led 21-20 after one. The Pistons hung in there. They kept fighting back. Pistons have recently had trouble. Lots of trouble trying to beat the Magic in Orlando, but this time not so much trouble. Pistons clawed their way to a 54-47 lead at halftime, and then they roll on from there. It was actually a slugfest, in the third quarter, and the Pistons still led 80-70. But in the fourth quarter, the Pistons really started to roll. They outscored the Magic 29-16 in the fourth quarter, and won 109-86. They also got a lot of blocks defensively. They swatted almost 10. I imagine they swatted about 10. They wound up with 9 blocks, 9 steals as well. Oh, my goodness. They shot 40 of 86. Which is 46.5 for the night, 41.9 average this season. They shot 14 of 33 from three-point range after struggling from three-point range in the first quarter. Their free throw shooting still needs to be cleaned up. 15 of 29, 51.7%. 54 rebounds. Though, still quite a lot of rebounds. 22 assists, 11 turnovers, 14 fouls. They out-rebounded the Magic 54-42. The Magic only got 7 offensive rebounds. And the Pistons out-rebounded the Magic defensively 38-35. The Magic turned the ball over 15 times and got nailed for 21 fouls. Jody Meeks led the men in blue and red, the Pistons, with a season-high 34 points off the bench, shooting 9 of 11 from three-point land. And Drummond also did what he does best, getting a double-double, 17 points and 22 rebounds. DJ Augustine also picked up a double-double, a small one though, 11 points and 10 assists. Pistons have now won 3 straight. They improved to 8-23 on the season. 3-0 since they've waived Josh Smith. The Pistons are beginning to play much more like a SWAT team. A SWAT basketball team. From a SWAT basketball league. They're playing tougher defense by swatting shots. Not only that, but they're playing as a team all over the floor. All over the court. And it's a very vast difference between the Pistons with Josh Smith back earlier in the season and the Pistons without Josh Smith right now. The difference making of that is an advantage to the Pistons as we know it today. Let's take a look at the standings now. The Pistons should still be in 13th place in the Eastern Conference. Bobcats, as of going into tonight, were 10-22. Pistons' next game is not until Friday, when they visit the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are 5-28 on the season. The Bobcats had Tuesday off. The Charlotte Hornets, rather. Not the Bobcats. Oops. The Pistons trail the Charlotte Hornets in the standings for 12th place. They're at 13th place. The Hornets had Tuesday off. They play Wednesday in Houston against the 21-9 Rockets. The Hornets are 10-22. Other scores around the NBA. Pistons look to guard Carmelo Anthony, by the way. Cavaliers have been struggling lately. Sports Center says they were coming unglued. They lost 109 to 101 to the Atlanta Hawks, who now improved to 23-8. The Cavs dropped to 18-13 with LeBron James back with them. The Brooklyn Nets beat the Chicago Bulls 96-82. Nets improved to 15-16. The Bulls dropped to 22-10 in Chicago. San Antonio Spurs suffer another loss. The defending champs suffer another loss in Memphis to the Grizzlies 95-87. The Grizz improved to 23-8. The Spurs are now 19-14. The New Orleans Pelicans edged the Phoenix Suns in a high-scoring contest, 110-106 in New Orleans. The Pelicans now rise above 500 to 16-15. The Suns are now 18-15. The Dallas Mavericks take care of the Washington Wizards 114-87. Two top dogs going at it in an interconference battle matchup. The Mavs are 23-10. The Wiz are 22-9. Very even, as a matter of fact. The Los Angeles Lakers pull an upset over the Denver Nuggets 111-103 in the Rocky Mountains. Lakers improved to 10-22. The Nuggets 13-19. The Utah Jazz hold off the Minnesota Timberwolves 194 in Salt Lake City. Timberwolves are mightily struggling. They're now 5-25. The Jazz 11-21. The Blazers locked horns with the Raptors in Portland. And it was Portland beating Toronto in overtime, 102-97. And finally, the Golden State Warriors, one of the best teams in the NBA right now, at now 25-5 after throwing the Philadelphia 76ers over the cliff, 126-86. The Sixers are now 4-26. Upcoming games for Wednesday in the NBA. 13-8 Sacramento Kings at the 10-18 Boston Celtics at 1. The Miami Heat, Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat at 14-18. Go up north to Indiana and take on the 11-21 Pacers. The 11-21 Pacers at 3 o'clock. And speaking of the Pistons' next opponent, the Knicks, go out west and take on the Los Angeles Clippers at 21-11 at 6 o'clock. Charlotte Hornets visit the Houston Rockets, like as mentioned before, at 7. Tip off at 7. Two other games at 7. The Milwaukee Bucks at 16-16, visiting the Cavaliers. The Pelicans play back-to-back games. This one on the road in San Antonio. The third 7 o'clock game. And one more game starting at 8. The Suns visit the Oklahoma City Thunder 15-17 at 8 o'clock. All right. Let's get to the biggest news at hand. Not only in Detroit sports, not only in Michigan, in the state of Michigan sports, but also one of the biggest headlines of national sports as well. Jim Harbaugh, formally introduced as Michigan's new football head coach, wearing the maize and blue for the Wolverines. He signed a 7-year, $5 million, seven-year contract worth $35 million total, $5 million per year. Nick Baumgartner writes from MLive.com, headlining Jim Harbaugh, formally introduced as Michigan's football coach, had a sore throat. Jim Harbaugh had no voice, and he nearly tripped on the gaggle of photographers as he entered his first official news conference at Michigan. Harbaugh laughed, quote, "Anybody see that? A lesser athlete would have gone down," unquote. He drew a good laugh from the crowd, and no one cared about the near mishap or the raspy voice. Michigan has its man, and now it's official. The signing is official, that is. Harbaugh also said, quote, "There are very special words in the English language we all embrace. There are very special words in the English language we all embrace. There's family, friends, teammates, victory. I was reminded of another very special word when I was driving into Ann Arbor this morning, and that word is homecoming," unquote. Michigan has formally signed Harbaugh to a 7-year contract that will pay him $5 million per season, $35 million total, to the aforementioned 7-year contract. 7-year, $35 million total contract this season. Well, total. Hackett announced that in 1 year's time, he will reevaluate the program's progress and put together a deferred compensation package for Harbaugh that is based on market value. Asked immediately if he views Michigan as a destination job, Harbaugh discussed all the places he's been: the University of San Diego, Stanford University, and with the San Francisco 49ers. He explained how thrilling it was to build each program. But at the end of the day, the former Michigan quarterback says he wants to eventually find a permanent place. Harbaugh, who claimed the hire wasn't official until Monday, quoted, "I've dreamed about this since I was a young lad. I'd really like to live in one of these jobs permanently. That's what I'm hoping for here," unquote. Tuesday's news conference featured a standing room only crowd inside Michigan's Junge Center. Junge Center. Harbaugh's family, including parents Jack and Jackie, his wife Sarah, and the couple's children, were seated in the front row. A number of former Michigan players were also in attendance, along with a handful of current players, including center Jack Miller and quarterback Shane Morris. Most of Michigan's roster is currently on holiday break, but Harbaugh spoke with a number of the players via a conference call earlier in the day. Former Michigan coaches Lloyd Carr and Gary Mueller were also in attendance for the announcement. Kathy Schembechler, the wife of the late Bo Schembechler, was also in attendance, as were a number of Michigan regents. Harbaugh, who mutually parted ways with the 49ers on Sunday, went 49-21-1 over his 4-year run as an NFL coach. He earned 3 trips to the NFC title game, and 1 trip to the Super Bowl. Prior to that, Harbaugh went a combined 58-27 during his 7 years as a college coach at San Diego and Stanford. The interim athletic director Jim Hackett said, quote, "One particularly famous pro coach who had done broadcasting for many years told me this. Jim Hackett, you didn't just get a great coach, you got the best coach. You got the best coach in football today." Unquote. There's more. College or pro, our guy came home. Unquote. Harbaugh spoke about the foundation that's built. Harbaugh spoke about the foundation that's been built at Michigan, starting with Bo Schembechler, and moving into Mueller and Carr. He thanked former coach Brady Hoke and his wife Laura, calling them his very good friends, for their service at the university. He said he won't make any promises or guarantees, and says he isn't comfortable with being called the savior of Michigan football. At this point, all he wants to do is win. See, that's the key right there. Just win, baby. In the immortal words of Oakland Raiders owner Al Davis, former head coach of the Raiders, just win, baby. And to cap the article off, Harbaugh also said, quote, "I feel like I'm standing on this foundation that is so rock solid. I feel like I'm standing on the shoulders of tall men. I can't thank you enough." Top to bottom, Michigan is about excellence and greatness. You have my pledge, and I will carry forward the tradition of excellence of the University of Michigan football program. So I like to hear from everyone. Just rubbing in the happiness of Harbaugh becoming the head coach of Michigan. Especially Michigan fans. Especially the Michigan Wolverines fans. Like Jack Sines, who likes most of my photos on Taylor's Detroit's on my sports page on Facebook, Taylor Phillips's Detroit Sports page. He liked my video, the video I posted on there of Jim Harbaugh entering Crisler Center, walking on the court and saying a speech. And I want to play it right now. And there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, this crowd does not need to be motivated. Thank you for the enthusiasm and the support. Even though we have not done a darn thing, it is much appreciated. I pledge to you that we will do our very best to carry on the great tradition of Michigan, excellence all across the board. And what I ask is this is a team effort. That it's the faculty, it's the alumni, it's the students, it's the student athletes. Everybody that's for us is for us. Thank you very much. You know how to make a guy feel at home. And my family and I appreciate it very much. And I love you too. Thank you very much.
And that was Jim Harbaugh, ladies and gentlemen, at Crisler Center. Just wanted to play a little short video just to save some time on this podcast. Just amazing. Because like I said before, Jim Harbaugh will not only win games, but also develop elite NFL players in the college football level. Way better than Brady Hoke did, way better than Rich Rodriguez ever did, and way better than Lloyd Carr ever did. Way better than Lloyd Carr did from 2000 to 2006. Speaking of Michigan basketball, they came back. They struggled throughout most of the game, but they came back and beat the Illinois Fighting Illini 73-65 in overtime in their first Big Ten Conference regular season game of the 2014-2015 NCAA Men's Basketball Division I regular season. Aubrey Dawkins hit 6 3-pointers and finished with 20 points as Michigan improved to 8-5 and 1-0 in the Big Ten. Karis LeVert chipped in with 19 points, while Zach Irvin and Ricky Doyle each added 13. Dawkins also totaled 15 points over the first 12 games of his career. 15 plus points. Per game. Malcolm Hill led Illinois with 19 points. Michigan travels to Purdue at 2:15 on Saturday. That is on BTN and the BTN.com and the BTN To Go app, the mobile app. To the other side of the in-state in-state rivalry, Michigan can beat Michigan State in Ann Arbor in 2015 in football, by the way, with Jim Harbaugh as their head coach. Michigan State Spartans, unranked, took on 12th ranked Maryland, the Terrapins, and they fought hard but lost in double overtime 68-66 at Breslin Center. Des Wells led the Terps with 16 points. He forced overtime with a three-pointer late in regulation. Also had 7 rebounds and 5 assists. Melo Trimble shot 12 of 14 from the free throw line for 17 points for Maryland, who has now won 6 straight overall. They're now 13-1. Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo said the Terps had 0 free throws at halftime and then ended up with 32. We couldn't cover anybody. Our guards struggled. Unquote. Denzel Valentine. Denzel Valentine here. I can't find it. Denzel Valentine only scored 4 points. Travis Trice led MSU in offense with 26 points and 6 assists. Brandon Dawson, 9 points, 11 rebounds. Trice was the only Spartan to reach double figures. He would unanimously surpass double digits at double figures. Bryn Forbes was the closest to double figures, and Matt Costello as well. They both wound up with 9 points. There was nobody else besides Travis Trice that scored double figures. Wow. That's strange. That's not like Michigan State basketball at all. Spartans basketball team does not play until Monday at home against the Indiana Hoosiers, 7 o'clock tip-off time on BTN, BTN.com, and the BTN To Go app. Speaking of MSU, their football team, the 8th seed, the 8th ranked, team takes on the number 5 ranked Baylor Bears in the Cotton Bowl. Later today on Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. The Detroit Lions' first opponent in the 2015 NFL playoffs. I'll get to that after this. I want to preview MSU versus Baylor in the Cotton Bowl. Game notes from the Score mobile app. A glass-half-full Baylor fan sees the Bears' appearance in a New Year's Day bowl game as an accomplishment. One with a half-empty mindset views it as a slight of the highest order. Regardless of their option, they will be tuning into the Cotton Bowl on January 1st, New Year's Day. That's Thursday, to watch the 4th-ranked Bears take on the 7th-ranked Michigan State Spartans at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. While Baylor is ranked number 4 in the AP poll, the College Football Playoff Committee saw it appropriate to rank Ohio State in the final spot in the College Football Playoff Rankings, CFP for short, with the 11-1 Bears falling in at number 5. Since the Big 12 does not have a championship game, the conference opted to name co-champs at the end of the regular season, with both Baylor and TCU each sharing the crown, even though the former beat the latter. The only blemish on Baylor's record came in a 41-27 loss at West Virginia to the Mountaineers on October 18th, a game that saw the Bears commit 18 penalties for 215 yards. Triple ouch. The most ever by a Big 12 team. They recovered to win their final 5 games, including a 38-27 win over nationally ranked Kansas State, the Wildcats, in the finale. Nate at night reminded me to turn the music bed back on. I apologize for that. He just messaged me, sent me 4 comments on there. Just a minute or two ago. 1 to 2 minutes ago. Anyway, still it was not enough, and Baylor's head coach took the high road rather than complain about the process. Head coach Art Briles lamented, "Oh my, I got five and a half minutes left." The Lions defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh wins his appeal and will not serve a 1-game suspension. He'll play in Dallas with the Lions and the Red Wings. I hate to cut this MSU Baylor football preview short, but I'm running out of time. Season series, Henrik Zetterberg and Nicholas Cronwall have led the way for the Wings in 2 victories against the Devils this season. Cronwall's got a goal and 2 assists, and Zetterberg has assisted on 3 goals. The first win was Detroit's only victory in its 8 shootouts thus far. The Devils team scope, the injured reserve list, expanded to 8 Tuesday when centers to 8 on Tuesday when center Steven Gianta with a fractured hand and Jacob Josephson with illness were added. Patrick Eliash with mumps, Martin Havlat with illness, Michael Reiner with mumps, David Severson fractured left ankle, Bryce Salvador lower body, and Ryan Clough with an upper body are on the IR too. Though Havlat practiced Tuesday, Havlat will travel to Detroit but is questionable to play. He tested negative for mumps, and Josephson's symptoms don't appear to be consistent with mumps. But the Devils are still playing it safe in light of 5 other players who did contract the infection. Josephson won't be eligible to return from the IR until next week. New Jersey called up right wing Mike Sislo from Albany, the Albany Devils of the American Hockey League, on Tuesday to help replace Gianta's presence-killing penalties. Red Wings team scope. Detroit drew the ire of coach Mike Babcock after a 5-2 loss at the Boston Bruins on Monday, a game which the Bruins played without top forwards Patrice Bergeron and Milan Lucic. This is from the Red Wings official mobile app. The Bruins built a 3-1 lead and pushed it to 4-2 in the third after Detroit had drawn within a goal. Babcock was not pleased with Detroit's effort. He said, quote, "It's like anything," he told the Free Press afterward. "If you're humbled and embarrassed by the way you play, you do something about it. I can tell you I am, because that's ridiculous," unquote. Defenseman Jakob Kindle, who sprained his elbow practice Sunday, was placed on short-term IRs for 7 days Tuesday. Rookie Xavier Ouellet was recalled from Grand Rapids of the AHL to take Kindle's roster spot and will play against the Devils. Injured goalie Jonas Gustafsson with a shoulder injury participated in practice Tuesday and took some shots. There's some extra breaking news there. I still got less than 2 minutes. Bryce, back to the MSU Baylor preview. Bryce Petty was one of the fighters and was a finalist for all of the major. Bears offense allowed. The Bears defense has allowed 107.7 yards per game against the run. Forced 24 turnovers. Michigan State was also predicted to be in the title hunt, but lost to Ohio State and Oregon. Finished 10-2 overall, 7-1 in Big Ten play. Spartans offense scored 517 total points on 5,958 yards. 64 touchdowns, 40 of them rushing, and 66 extra point attempts. I will tweet out the whole preview of it from the Score Mobile to Twitter. Follow me at DT2Phillips. TTFN, ta-ta for now.